Our supremely enlightened Buddha was the most greatest compassionate teacher in the world. Lord Buddha had the habit of looking at the world, looking at all the sentient beings in every morning, whether he can help to realize the teachings of the Buddha, to realize, to free ones from suffering. Buddhism, the main teaching is to alleviate suffering and to get rid of suffering. So Buddha's motivation is to give relief and suffering-free state. Therefore, Buddha always exemplified in his character in many ways to alleviate suffering. For example, when the Buddha's own relatives, Sakyan, were about to wage a war between Koreans due to the water issue, that is, they were used to have water in the river which is used by both kingdoms. One bank of the river, Korean kingdom was situated, and the other bank of the river, the Sakyan kingdom was situated. Therefore, both of these clans were sharing these water resources, and due to the drought, the river was drained and no enough water to. But if one round of water was diverted to their crops, and if the river was blocked and make a dam and give the water to the crops, they could have easily get a good harvest. On the other hand, if the Sakyans also able to do the same, they also can get the water and get the good crops. But the lower level officials and the lower level farmers were fighting and arguing, and they decided to fight over the water. And Buddha came to this scene and taught them the blood is thicker than the water, and it is not appropriate to shed blood for trivial things like water, and explained to them that Buddha, it is not good to fight, and they were come into settlement and the war was stopped. Even in Sri Lanka, when the two brothers were fighting for gem stud throne in Nagadeepa, Buddha also came and helped them. And also, when Angulimala was about to kill his own mother, the Buddha came and intervened and saved the mother as well as to save the Angulimala by preaching him the path of deathless, the path of freedom from suffering. So Buddha's motivation, and also Buddha teaches all the monks to teach their dharma teachings, impart the teachings out of compassion, anukampa. The Pali terms used for compassion is karuna and also anukampa, daya. These are some of the Pali terms used for describing compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is not limited. Compassion is not restricted. In Buddhism, there are 4 heavenly abodes or 4 Brahma Viharas. These are called Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka. Metta is loving kindness. It's also part of the compassion. And also Karuna is the basic concept that is taught by the Buddha. And for Buddhists, the followers of the Buddha, we must practice boundless, immeasurable, limitless, non-restricted karuna or compassion towards all the sentient beings. Not only for human beings, in some religions, they teach in their religious holy books, they teach only for human, the compassion, the love, the God's love or compassion only for humans. They are human-centered. But Buddhist teachings are, all the sentient beings are centered around. So Buddha's teaching always encourage us to take oneself as an example. Buddha once said, Atthanang upamang katta na haneya na ghate. Having taken oneself as an example, since I don't like get killed, since I don't like get hurt, since I don't like get tortured, similarly, in the same way, no one, no animal, no insect, no other beings, no human beings, never ever like them being tortured, them being harmed, them being killed. So the Buddha said in stanza in Dhammapada, Buddha said, having taken oneself as an example, you should never ever hurt, harm, kill or violate the other people's rights or other sentient beings, the right to life. Nowadays, the young people sometimes, for their fun, for their happiness, for their leisure, they will go to the lakes and go to the rivers and do the fishing, just for fun. See how to hook, to use the fishing, you use a hook, and which will cause so much pain to the fish. You never ever think, if someone put a hook on your mouth and hang with the fishing rod, how it will be painful for you. It is same with the other animals, same with the other fish. So Buddha said, we should, because everyone trembles at the punishment, everyone trembles at the fear, they will fear about the death. So we should take oneself as an example and not to harm, not to kill, not to violate. So the karuna means to eradicate, alleviate, reduce sufferings. Do you know? Compassion can bring you a lot of benefits. In today's neuroscience and the scientific experiments shows that compassion is an innate part of our life. It's natural, and also we are born with compassion. It is not something we acquire when we are born. Compassion is naturally within us. The seeds of compassion are within us. But it is our duty, and we must improve our skills to develop, cultivate compassion towards all sentient beings. So this natural emotion, natural instinct, we need to put the proper fertilizer, we should put the proper attention, and we should take care of this compassion so that it will grow and develop for the betterment of oneself and betterment of others. Especially, we need to think that people in the world, especially, they might suffer silently. Openly they might smile, they might suffer in silence. And also we need to remember that people are carrying heavy loads of emotional baggages, emotional, hard, very burdensome emotions in their heart. So we don't know what are the bad experiences other people are undergoing. So we need to pay attention. And so if we are kind enough, maybe you might think to be kind, to be compassionate, you need special skills, you need so much money, you need so much training, etc., etc. No, it's a simple emotion and anyone can have it. For example, opening door for a visitor or a stranger, or maybe if a vehicle is broken down, you help to pull this vehicle to get it started, or your neighbor is sick, you go and help him or cook something good for him, or you are going on the road, you see something fallen on the road that might make a puncture in a car or make a injury to another person, you saw a banana feel on the ground of the road, you can remove from the road, and if blind person is going to fall into a ditch or some hole, you can prevent him falling. If a disabled person going in a wheelchair, like a wheelchair bicycle, you can push him on the mount when he is going on a high place. There are so many little things you can do to alleviate suffering. Even listen to the sufferings or their bad experiences they are undergoing currently, and help them to release their emotional baggage is itself a part of compassion. So there are so many ways we can improve, develop and cultivate in our daily life. So make it a part of your life, make it a habit of your life, make the compassion a career of your life, so that everything you do with your words, everything you talk, everything you think, everything you do, always motivated and propelled by this compassion, so that you are exemplified in our society. Mothers are the greatest compassionate people on the earth. Mothers and women, they exemplified the compassion. Most of the women, most of the mothers, they are so compassionate to their children. But I suggest that you can go further, and not only you can be kind to your children, and also you can be kind to the other children as well, not only to your children. And fathers can follow the mother's compassion and imitate their compassion and become more compassionate. When the parents are compassionate, the children will also imitate them, and children will also follow the parents' examples, and they will also become compassionate. So when you do the compassionate actions, it has a ripple effect, and other people also will get some inspiration, some encouragement, and they will also follow you. So therefore, friends, compassion brings you a lot of good hormones like oxytocin and also some other hormones that will keep your mood in a good state of mind. Therefore, laughter, the love, the compassion are essential food for the mind. We need to nourish these foods in our mind, then our mind will be very enriched. The mind will be well nourished. We are not undernourished with these emotions. So it's very important to nourish these emotions, especially compassion. And during ancient time, there was a king, and this king wanted to select a young person for his successor, because this king didn't have children. So he don't want to die without appointing a king to his palace, to the kingdom, because the country will be stateless. Therefore, he sent the message to all the villages around the country saying that since I am old, I want to appoint a deputy king on behalf of me to look after the matters of the state, and also when he passed away he will be the king of the country. But he sent a message to the countrymen that only the most compassionate person will be selected as the next king. So the king sent all these messages to the around the town, around the villages, and all the people, young people, came one after the other to the palace, but none of them were selected. But when this news went to the faraway villages, a young boy who is very poor and didn't have enough clothes for him to wear, so he worked hard for many days and saved some money and brought suitable clothes to visit the king's court. And he prepared the things essential for his journey. And he came many days to the palace. Quite near to the palace, he was very tired, and he had some water and some food and some clothes on his body, very nice clothes. But one beggar was waiting there in a cold winter and asking this young boy, "Can you please kindly give me some food to eat? Can you also give me some clothes to wear? I am under very deep cold. The winter is so bad. I might die in few hours. Please give me some clothes." The attire, the cloth, the costume he made to visit the king he was wearing on the top. And he thought, "Hey, I am very poor, but this man is more poorer than me. I should help him." So out of compassion, this young boy gave his coat and also some of his foods also shared with this old man. And he thanks the old man. And finally, he feel like ashamed to visit the king's court with its all shirts and all the clothes, all clothes. But however, he make himself with courage, and he encouraged himself and went to the palace. And he was waiting for the king in the courtroom. After half an hour, the king appeared. To his surprise, it was the old beggar on the street that was dressed as a king in the palace now. He was surprised. And the king asked, "Have you noticed something? Have you seen anything?" He said, "I saw an old man, I helped old man. It seems like that old man and you are exactly, looks like the same. Is that you were waiting there on the road, asking food, asking clothes?" The king said, "Yes. I am the one who was waiting on the road, and I was checking any people who are more compassionate, who are more coming forward to help and release the suffering. So you are the only one, help me. So I will select you as the next king. And I am pleased with your attitude, I am pleased with your behavior, I am very happy that you have so much compassion in your heart." Then the king said, "I want my next king to be more compassionate than me, to share the wealth of the kingdom to the poor and to the sick and to the needy. So that is why I made this test, and that is why you were selected. You are more compassionate." So being compassionate is more rewarding, and also it has the power of transforming the people. The opposite of the compassion are the and also the anger, and also the jealousy, These mental states might kill your compassion, might disturb your compassion, might disturb your attitudes towards the others to help, because when you are angry, you cannot feel the sufferings and the pains and the difficulties other person is undergoing, because you are possessed by anger. When you are also possessed by jealousy and selfishness, that I, myself, I am the best, I am the good, and myself only should live in this world. This kind of very selfish, very self-centered thoughts will disturb you in many ways for the development of compassion. So, today's world, we are very isolated, we are not helping each other, especially in medical profession. Recently a research has been done regarding the compassion. Most of the doctors, most of the nurses, most of the attendants are very reluctant to be compassionate to their customers or to the patients. They think it's as extra burden. But a recent study shows that the compassion on the part of the doctor, the nurse, the attendant will create very good healing influence towards the patient. Because to be compassionate, it won't cost you nothing. To be compassionate, you don't need money. To be compassionate, you don't need wealth. It's an emotion. It's a very positive emotion. If you can develop this positive emotion, that will benefit to all the people. So, those hospitals, especially trained to develop the compassion towards their patients, the re-entry with another sickness or same sickness to the hospital has reduced by 30%. This reduction of patients coming into the hospital because of the compassion of the nurse, attendants, and all the people, staff who are engaged in looking after the patients. Because not due to the pills given by the doctor, but the pills of compassion has made tremendous changes in the lives of the patients. So therefore, friends, the Buddha is the greatest compassionate teacher, and Buddha always encouraged to be compassionate to all the sentient beings, and including oneself. Most of the cases, people are compassionate to others, but people are very harsh to themselves. You need to understand, you need to be compassionate towards yourself. You need to understand that you are not perfect, you cannot do all the things right, you make mistakes, you make blunders, you make wrong decisions. It's okay. Forgive, forget, and not to repeat the same mistakes again, and continue your life peacefully and happily. May the compassion improve day by day in your life, and if you think there are 7.7 billion people on the earth, if all the people on the earth become a little bit more compassionate, how beautiful the world will be. Therefore, compassion is innate, natural, instinct, and if they are necessities, they are not luxuries. If with the compassion run away from us, all the other beings on the earth will die, because we need to protect them as well. We need our compassion towards them as well. May the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha bless you, guide you, and protect you. Namo Buddhaya.